Howdy do, everybody. Howdy do. Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard on a lovely Thursday morning. Oh, my goodness gracious. So lovely. Okay, so lovely. Good morning to Greg and to DK Loosh and to George and to the SP fan. Good morning to Traveler. And as the chat room loads up, I say good morning to everybody. Andy's in the chat room. Pretty good. Good morning. Kevin is here. Coming up next. I don't know, Kevin, are you coming up next? If you are, just let me know. All right. All right. Let's get right to it with the huge announcement. A huge announcement right here. Major League Baseball made a huge announcement yesterday, and I want you to know and see how it affects everybody in the chat room because it's going to rock it. Major League Baseball has officially removed marijuana from banned substances and on the banned substance list for Major League Baseball players. So good morning. How does that? Who do you think? Good morning, guest Stefan. Okay, Kevin Hastings is really Martin Prado. Good morning. Yeah. So how, in your opinion, does that affect Major League Baseball? And name the one player that you feel is affected the most by this ruling, okay? And here's the thing. Are they allowed to use it during a game? Is that it? And what about in the fans? What about in the stands, okay? What about in the stands? I'm just trying to look up the over-under I forgot to do that today, for the San Diego Padres. That's the team we'll be talking about. So just wanted to let you know that that's the situation right there. Okay, let's get right to it with Major League Baseball providing that unbelievable turn of events. Now, you can tell I'm stalling, right? I am. I'm all over the place today. I thought I was organized, but I didn't do it. Now, here we go. I'm ready now, ready to go. So the other thing is, and this is very important to know, that yesterday we talked about the Texas Rangers, right? And when I got off, I got a call from a caller who wanted to know about the Texas Rangers pitching staff, and I don't think I went over it as closely as I should have, but I'm going to tell you. Mike Minor, Lance Lynn, okay? The Ranger rotation is going to be made of Minor and Lynn and some medical experiments that they're going to have. Take Minor and Lynn out of the mix, and the starters average barely than 4 innings per outing, okay? So that's what they do. So that's my thing on the entire rotation. Very rarely is being put together. So and consider that Globe Life Park, there in 5 years, the Rangers got the most innings from the starting rotation. They averaged 92 wins per season. So there you go. One of the most durable rotations at Globe Life Park. Now they got a new ballpark. Okay? So we're going to be talking about the San Diego Padres. Now, I thought about putting war. We had a caller on Sirius Radio looking to add a category, and I mentioned the category of war. Now, much has been written about war. I don't get it. Does anybody get war? I read a piece that compared Lenny Dykstra, all right? Lenny Dykstra, who turned 57 last week, said Lenny Dykstra, who had a 42.5 WAR in 5,282 plate appearances, had a better WAR than Ken Griffey Jr. So Dykstra had Dykstra accumulated a 42.5 WAR in 1,278 games and over 5,200 plate appearances. Now Griffey accumulated an 83 WAR in 2,671 games and 11,000 plate appearances. So WAR per 162 games for Griffey was 5.1. WAR per 162 games for Dykstra was 5.4. I don't get it, okay? I don't get it. Also, on the show on Sunday on Sirius Radio, and if you get a chance to listen, it's great. Brian, the fan addict, talked about Garrett Cole, the fact that his wife is expecting their first son in June. So here's the deal. Maternity. Apparently maternity weighs on players because they're away from their spouse. And if you take a look at Jose Ramirez, Brian said that this is going to affect Garrett Cole. It affected Jose Ramirez last year. Pre-paternity, Jose Ramirez had 292 at-bats. He had 290. He had 5 homers, 30 RBIs, and he had a 216 batting average. Now, post-paternity, he had 187 at-bats, 18 home runs, and a 321 batting average. So, I take the position that we forget that these players, or at least some of them, are actually human. And if that's the case, and I believe it's true that some of these players are human, I wonder how that's going to affect Garrett Cole. I just wonder how it's going to affect Garrett Cole. So we shall see, okay? So for those of you, and also you have for Garrett Cole, how much are we going? Does anybody agree with me that Garrett Cole could actually be disappointing this year? The combination of pitching in New York under the scrutiny of all the New York media and the fans and the whole deal, and the fact that his wife's got a couple of things going against him. So in the chat room, now I'm doing the auction values now for the National League. George Pitt, good morning to Zilmo. Good morning to Dunky Oki, DK Lush. Kenny Flammy is here. King Hap has joined us. And Ray K, SP fan on Holy Toledo, White Sox Gal. Good morning to all of you. Traveler, Ray K, okay? So not okay, Ray K. Now, George picked Cole number 3, okay? Last year's act, as George says, is a tough act to follow. No question about it. But Cole has 2 things going against him. Number 1, pitching in New York for the first time. And number 2, being away from home while his wife is pregnant and they're expecting. Well, I guess if you're pregnant, you do expect, right? That goes without saying. So there you go. 2 interesting factors out of the box scores that really give you a little bit to think about when you're thinking about Garrett Cole. Okay? Does anybody agree with that? How much are we going for Garrett Cole? Among the rules that Major League Baseball is applying, you have they attempt to limit position players used as pitchers. Any player may appear as a pitcher following the 9th inning of an extra inning game or in any game that his team is winning or losing by more than 6 runs. And here's the other rule, okay? Managers now will have up to 20 seconds to challenge a play instead of 30 seconds. So goodness gracious, as they save 10 seconds, now over the course of a game, that could come into play a number of times, I understand. But it'll also not mean anything to a game. You're talking about challenging a play. They got 20 seconds now. If they want to challenge a play, they have 20 seconds. Excuse me. So Major League Baseball trying desperately to cut back the clock and at the same time adding the DH to the National League. Now, I understand why they want to do it. I commend that it's being done. I could probably go either way on that, but it makes no sense. Oh, speaking of making no sense, here's a phone call. Let's see what happens. We're going to get that motherfucker off the air. All right. Anyway, it seems that they call 910 every day. I know who it is. It's probably somebody who used to be on the website. Okay. I don't know who it is. But anyway, that's the story. You have a situation where they're trying to take the position that, oh, I'm very distracted today. I'm really sorry, but I'm very distracted. I only got one more distraction left. So while they're trying to shorten the game, they're trying to lengthen the game as well. So that's what Major League Baseball is doing. We talked about that before. A lot of people concerned about Chris Bryant, especially those who feel that Bryant's going to be traded from one league to another. The Chris Bryant trade talks are not stopping, but there is no timetable. And they could keep going until July 31st, the trade deadline, especially if the Cubs have a mediocre or poor first half. The only way Chris Bryant will not be traded is if the Cubs get out of the box quick, okay, and start to make some headway. Now, Bryant there's no urgency that the Red Sox showed in trying to trade Mookie Betts and David Price. The Rangers are one of the most intriguing suitors for Chris Bryant. Okay? The Cubs would rather not deal Chris Bryant to a fellow National League contender. And Texas has made no secret that they have the desire to add a right-handed bat in the middle of the order. All right? They went after Rendon. They went after Castellanos. In the immediate return, the Rangers may have an easier time trading for Jock Peterson. The Rangers are not done. Another reason that I wanted to add to yesterday's podcast. Okay? Peterson, and I think for sure, there is no question in my mind that the New York Yankees, and here's the thing about the Yankees. You know, I don't want to talk about the cheating thing again, but in the last 6 years, Carlos Beltran played for the Yankees. A lot of that. I want, and then there's a lot of talk coming out that the Yankees have been doing it. So Peterson coming off 36 home runs, but Bryant is a better roster fit for Texas since veteran third baseman Todd Frazier could move and play first base. The Cubs and the Rockies, by the way, have not made progress on a superstar for superstar trade. There was talking, according to John Morosi, Chris Bryant for Nolan Arenado. The possibility has been discussed. Each player is 2 seasons away from the right to free agency. And for Arenado, this is in the form of an opt-out clause in his long-term contract. So he appears increasingly likely to really exercise that opt-out clause. He has been very dissatisfied with the Rockies, and that became public in this offseason. So that trade is not out of the question. It's a stare down between Nolan Arenado and the Colorado Rockies, and it continues. Okay? So here you go. Here's a trivia question for you, and I'm going to use it on Sunday. The team that had the most games lost due to injuries last year was the New York Yankees. Now, that is probably easy to remember. They had over 2,700 innings lost. The Pirates were number 3. The Pirates had 27 players spend time on the injured list with 1,800. Name the team that was second to the Yankees in missed innings due to injury. Missed games due to injury, okay? The Yankees reacted to what they did by firing their strength coach and their conditioning coach. So name the team that was second, okay, in innings lost. The Braves traded Billy Bruton for Frank Bowling. That's right. Johnny Logan was the shortstop as well. Remember that? It wasn't the Mets. The team with the Amazons is here. Nice to have you with us. See the Mets and then the Amazons come in. All right, great stuff. Good morning to Mitchell Harston. Good morning, absolutely the greatest player in the history. Outlaw Seal, Tito Luna. There you go.